What's going on, YouTubers? Welcome to another video. So I got tracking on Hellboy Right Hand of Doom. It arrives Tuesday. And my custom Leatherface chainsaw 1/3 scale is arriving next week on Friday. That finally shipped. And then the custom Leatherface shadow box, that also ships next week, so I should probably get it next week as well. So basically, in essence, completes the Leatherface display outside of, hopefully in the future, I get an actual sculpted version, not a printout of that. For the chainsaw, I won't lie, I would also love just a underbase, like a cool looking underbase for this piece. I feel like PCS should have did that. Nevertheless, the chainsaw, I might hang it over the top or put it like on the ground. I'll figure it out. It'll look great though. You know, PCS, when they first put that up for pre-order, Ant was commenting how they would do a chainsaw like on a stand next to him. And they never released that. So that pissed me off because I'd pre-ordered that wanting the chainsaw and they said they'd do it and they wouldn't. Alrighty, folks, it's time for another re-review for you guys. Today we're going to do a double. We're doing Heath Ledger bust and Heath Ledger 1/3. And basically my entire Heath Ledger display. Someone had asked me to do this, so here we are going to do this. But, so, you know, I first remember when this first went up for pre-order. And it was super hyped. And then production photos came out and everyone was shitting on it, saying it was so horrible. And this and that. Prime One was trying to say it's sliding, and in general, the resale value has plummeted on this piece. When it retailed at like, what was this, 1,800 or something like that, and I saw it at one point selling for $1,000, like nearly half off. And then, of course, they came out with the bust. It has a very similar paint app, but again, the sculpt, fantastic. Now, for me personally, I didn't have a huge issue with the paint app. I never expect prototype quality ever. I would say the only thing I kind of expect to look like the proto are silicone busts. When you're paying $4,000, you want it to look like the actor and as good as detail as they showcase. Also, J&D statues. When I see the prototype, I expect to receive that. But with Prime 1, PCS, any other statue studio out there, Sideshow, I never expect it. I usually expect 90% as good as the prototype. That's, I would say, like 80 to 90%. Now, yes, there is a paint decrease in this piece, but it's not that big of a deal for me. I still think this piece is the best Heath Ledger Joker statue, bar none, not even comparable. I own the Queen. I've seen the J&D. This to me is way better. For several reasons. One, it has the best pose and concept, having both the grenades, the card, swap out with either the mini machine gun or holding that knife. So the best pose, two heads, fantastic mixed media. The hair looks phenomenal, way better than Queen's and J&D's, which even though those were like real or sculpted, I think this hair looks infinitely better. The sculpt is better. And I just enjoy the statue overall more. It has movable eyes that look like glass eyes. So I still give that portrait like a 9.5 out of 10. Base, freaking love it. The concept where you have these police lines. You got this mask where you can kind of decide where you want to do that. There's also light up in here. I don't know if I can reach it. There you go. Boom. As you can see. There's also another one back there as well. You gotta really remove this mask to reach it. Like so. And this also has a light up feature, which we'll get to this one in a sec. This one, remove that. Press this. And boom. So we'll just leave the light up on during the review. There you go. So pretty cool light up feature. It kind of resembles the police sirens in a way. So, I mean, Heath Ledger Joker is for sure the best Joker out there. Not even comparable in my opinion. Jack Nicholson, not comparable. I saw that movie. I wasn't impressed with him. Where Heath Ledger blows your freaking mind how good he is. Yeah, so when it comes to this piece, I overall freaking love it. It is for me still one of Prime One's best 1/3 scale DC movie statues. I put this up there with Aquaman, Wonder Woman on horse as the, and Darkseid and Steppenwolf as their like 4 best. So I'm a huge fan of this Ledger piece. For me, this is a solid like 9 out of 10 statue still. So paint detail, absolutely fantastic. The mixed media, incredibly well done. Blitzway does such a good job. I love how you can kind of customize this how you want with these gasoline barrels, the money, the mask. I even put the knife right here because I like that look. Of course, I got the swap out bust, which I never actually display it, but I still wanted to get this just in case. I don't display it simply because my bust has the exact same like portrait per se. Now, I do think the Prime 1 portrait is a little bit better likeness than the silicone. Not like massive difference, but it is slightly different. Other than that, this little bust is fantastic. I think it's like $300. It's great. Behind we got the Queen Studios mask, which is off, but it still looks great. This is like a shadow box from Noble Collection. Looks really good. And then here is the mask by Infinity Studios, which I do think is better than the Queen. The shape of it is better. Now, this Joker bust by Infinity Studios, this is definitely one of my most highly anticipated pieces ever. Mine is not a production unit. It is an artist-proof version, an AP model. This was the bust that you saw all the vents. I got this from Comic Concepts. So after it went to, like, all the different Asia Comic Cons, it went to, I believe, a Canada one. Or maybe it was Midwest or East Coast. Then it was shipped to Mr. X, the Extreme Channel, and then he shipped it to me. So the same one you saw on the Extreme Channel reviewing it, that was shipped to me. So that is my unit. So I got to keep it. I don't know if Mr. X didn't want to keep it, but it didn't ship in a regular box, and I believe one of the arms is kind of like dislodged, and there also is no COA. Now, that COA you see there is actually for my Batman bust. I like having a COA for the purpose of like recast and whatnot, but I was fine because this does look, in my opinion, slightly better than the production unit. This was the artist-proof model, and I think the portrait is just a little bit more realistic. The hair looks a little bit better. Now, you guys have seen my full review, so this is just a re-review and like still what I think on this piece. I do think it's worth $4,000. I think it's the best Heath Ledger Joker bust out there. Still better than Queen's new attempt that they've done and their old attempt. The base, fantastic. Concept of the bust, I give for a bust 8 out of 10. He has the ability to hold the mask, which is very difficult and it's hard to see. I'm doing the little knife right now, the Why So Serious right there. Much easier to display that. The mask falls out and will break. I like having the knife stick out as well, but you can't wear the mask. There's no straps on it. Technically, you could put the Queen one, but it'd probably be tight and you could potentially damage the silicone, so I'd not recommend it. They did not give you any swap out Joker cards. Now, you could buy a Joker deck for a few bucks on Amazon. I'm not going to do that. I could and then spread the cards out, but then it'd look cluttered in my opinion. Different Joker card than that, but same one as this one. So it's the exact same one as that one. So Joker holding like a sword with a head in it. Pretty cool card. Again, my portrait, absolutely incredibly realistic. I had someone come to my house once, a buddy, coworker, and he told me that he thought this bust was my most realistic bust over my Blue Box bust, over all my other Queen and Infinity. He thought this one looked the realest. Obviously, you got real clothing, so it doesn't get any realer than that, versus sculpted, which is different. You got the tie, everything. Really nice, thick material. Everything inside from... God, I would be so warm in this outfit. But really fantastic, just quality material. The glove looks great. This is not silicone. I believe it is silicone on the Queen. I mean, it's so minimal, it's not a huge deal. Like the Queen life size. Yeah, very good glass eyes. The makeup looks very well done. As far as I'm aware, it's just normal like silicone skin like this that they actually applied the makeup to. And then, as you can see, it's on some of the hair. And of course, it's green. And his hair is almost like black roots going into green. Not totally black. It's more prominent on the production. Like right there, as you can see, it's not quite as green as that. On the production, it's, I don't know, that the hair color is kind of weird. Obviously, you see the prime one, it's just completely green, which I don't mind that color as well. I'm not a stickler on my Ledger being like, I don't compare photos, and if one hair is off, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's terrible. I'm not that big of a stickler. Now, I do think these pair absolutely perfectly. With the Infinity Studio bust, they're very big. That bust is like 34 inches tall, and you want a big 1/3 next to it. So I feel like the Prime 1, which is the largest of the Heath Ledger Joker statues out there at 29 inches tall. All the other ones are like, God, the Queen is like 16 inches. J&D is like 26. This one's definitely the best one. If you want to get the ultimate Heath Ledger Joker setup for bust and statue, doesn't get any better than this. This is still the absolute best pair in my opinion. So I definitely never am looking to replace these two. I am super happy with it. This is how the light up is. Yeah, that's the normal look, which obviously has the bat, why so serious, ha ha ha, Dark Knight logo, underbase, ripped clothes. Freaking phenomenal. Absolutely amazing, folks. For the Heath Ledger bust, I'd probably give it a 9.5 out of 10. I dock it 5 points because the likeness isn't perfect. It's like 92%, but it's not as good as, let's say, like Catwoman, Doctor Strange. I think it's maybe a little too skinny when I compare it to like that one, which I do consider like 98% likeness. I think it's probably a little too skinny. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say because it's life size, but when you do compare to the features, like you compare to the nose, the jaw, the hairline, they almost do look identical. Maybe the jaw's a little more prominent on the Prime one, or it's kind of hard to say. They're both so fantastic, though. And now, with this Ledger bust, you do need to display it high up. That is one reason I have it up here. Not only to fit these taller third scales down low, but this bust is better up high. When you have it just on top of a garage shelf like Batman here, you can't really see his face that good. You need to be sitting down. So when I had Joker over here previously, it was fine because I was sitting down. I could see him perfectly. But over here, I don't really bring my chair over here that often, so I want to make sure I can see any statues when I'm standing, good angles. So right now, my eyes go to about the mouth. So he's actually slightly, like, the eyes are above me several inches, which gives me fantastic angles. So definitely not a bust you want to display down low. Definitely worth $4,000 plus shipping. I still put this, honestly, I mean, for me personally, I would pay $2,000 for this. Like this and the bust, that's my value for it. I never plan to sell these ever. These are lifers for me. So overall pair, absolutely fantastic, folks. Definitely jump on it if you have been holding off or waiting. I would not. I would just get this pair. You won't be disappointed. Anyways, folks, like, comment, subscribe. Have a great day.